Hey there, what's going on, y'all? I'm John Doherty. I'm the founder over here at Editor Ninja, where what we do is content editing for marketing agencies and marketing teams in-house producing content. So basically, anyone producing content to market their business or to market their clients' businesses, that's who we're building for. For those of you that do not know me, my name is John, and I am a veteran SEO, content marketer, digital marketer. Worked for a couple of agencies back in the day on the East Coast, and then for Zillow for 2 years, running marketing on hotpads.com and Truly Rentals. So building SEO content and just growth teams, acquisition teams. And so then over the last about 7.5 years since I left there, I've been building a company called Credo, and now also building alongside that a company called Editor Ninja. And so I'm a lifelong content person. I'm a writer. Before I'm anything else, I've written hundreds of thousands of blog posts and hundreds of thousands to million plus words on the internet. Used it to build my career. Used it to build my companies. And I do a lot of thinking about content and about content marketing and how we do it better. And a lot of that involves teams. A lot of people look at at how can I build better processes or use whatever tools and that kind of thing. And processes and tools are all great, but at the end of the day, if we're creating content, content is hard to create. It's expensive to create. It takes a lot of energy, and we can only do so much, right? You can only expect really 6 to 8 really good pieces out of an individual writer a month. And if you're doing a lot of other things as well, then it's going to be really hard to do it yourself. So today, what I want to do is I want to walk you through a framework that I've put together using a model that I learned from a friend, and really try to help you understand where you are in the nexus of a content marketing program at your business or a client's content marketing program, whether or not you should bring them on. And I also want to show you the kinds of customers that are the right fit for Editor Ninja and working with us, that we can really get you great results and help you take your program to the next level. So I'm going to be sharing my iPad here. I have it down here on my desk, so I'll be looking at that quite a bit. But I kind of want to walk you through this. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And what you should see here is our triangle, right? And across the top, you're going to see how you're feeling. You're going to see what your focus should be. You see how you monetize or how you really continue to push the program forward. And then you're going to see the setup. And this is basically the team setup. So let's go ahead and get started. Down here at the bottom of the triangle, we have where someone has not gotten started yet. So they have no content. And they're probably feeling a little bit sad. They're feeling a little bit sad because they don't have traffic, they don't have traction, and it feels just a ton of things to do. So who is the team in this case, right? What is the setup? Who's involved? So really, it's yourself. It's yourself. It's a content person at your company, something like that. And what that person, you or that person, needs to focus on at this point is action. Just getting started. Inertia is super powerful when it comes to doing anything in business and life. Really, just that first step is the hardest part. So what you need to do to monetize this or to really push this forward in the process is to establish cadence, establish a good cadence of committing to, we're going to get 1 post a week, 2 posts a week out the door. Once you've done that, we're going to move up to about 2 to 8 pieces of content per month. At this point, you're feeling a little bit better. That's not really a smile. That's a straight line there. It's kind of a right. You're feeling okay, but you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot more work, right? So, what's the focus here? Your focus here is consistent publishing. This is where you need to keep the course and to keep producing, even though you're not quite seeing the results yet. You're seeing a little bit probably, you're probably starting to get a few people sharing, but it's not really driving crazy results for you. How are you going to monetize this? And what do you really need to care about here? Really, what you need to care about here is consistency of voice, the consistency of the content that you're putting out, establishing your voice, what format is it going to be in? I mean, even the nitty gritty things like, do you use sentence case or title case? Do you use the Oxford comma or not? Do you require bullet points and that sort of thing in there? You're establishing what your content is going to be like. Design can even come in here, right? What fonts are you using and what colors are you using and how big is your line spacing and all of that. These are all things that you can take into account here, but don't let those things hang you up. Don't let those things keep you from publishing, because you can always go back and optimize stuff after the fact. Don't try to optimize things before you've actually produced anything. So don't let those things hold you up, but start establishing and paying attention to your consistency of voice. At this point, you have yourself on the setup, on the team, but you're probably also going to bring on a writer or two, right? People that you can source, you can find on either on Upwork or through your network, on Twitter, places like that, asking your friends who they've worked with, or even starting to use a content platform like a Verblio or someone like that. To start getting someone else to write it, because now you're really starting to think about your briefs as well. So the next step up, once you're doing getting to the higher level of this range, 8-ish pieces per month. Now we step up to the next level, 10 to 20 pieces per month. And this is where, and I'm going to change the color here. This is where an agency starts to come in. An agency's producing it. So the purple here is brands and is in-house teams. Usually we don't see in-house teams producing more than about 8 to 10 pieces per month for their brand, especially smaller businesses. Bigger companies, of course, are producing a lot more than that. But when it comes to editorial marketing content, they're usually not producing more than that, or at least keeping it quality. Once we get up to 10 to 20 and then above that per month, we're starting to talk about agencies and agencies that are producing content, right? So at this point, how are you feeling? You're feeling a little bit better. Smile, right? Because traffic is up, people sharing is up, and hopefully leads, right? Which is money. Hopefully that is up as well. So what is your focus here? At this point, you're focusing on production, right? It ceased being, you come up with an idea and you grind it out, and you can just get it done yourself, because there's enough volume here. I mean, if you're producing even 15 pieces, 20 pieces a month is basically a piece every day, right? So, and 40 is double that, and on up from there. So you're focused on production. You're figuring out the production processes of who's doing the strategy, who's creating the briefs, who's doing the writing, who's reviewing that, who's editing it, who's publishing it, right? These are all roles that you're going to need. At this point, to really monetize it, you also need to focus on production, not production, on promotion. So if you focus on promotion here and distribution, you're going to start getting your content in front of a lot more people. And so who is the team here? At this point, you're probably adding on an editor, right? And you're probably adding on maybe a manager, like a content manager, someone that's really in charge of this process and taking it and scaling it. You may add that person on at 2 to 8 a month, but it probably doesn't really make sense yet. Especially if you don't have a ton of funding and that sort of thing, some like cash to spend ahead of getting them up to speed. So this is about the point where we see people really adding in a manager to manage the full process, to manage the writers, the editors, that sort of thing. And then up here at the top, we have 20 plus pieces per month. So how are you feeling here? We got a big smile going on here, right? Big smile. Why? Because leads are way up, traffic is up, people are sharing, your production process is working. And at this point, your focus has to be on scaling the team. And how do you and what matters here for the process and for monetizing it? It really comes down to, this is where you really start to get into measurement. You start to really care about the leads and the revenue that it's driving. This is really where you really care about that. And then you start to optimize all these things, optimize the process, even going back and reworking some of the older content, right? Because it's probably fallen off a bit. You've gotten better, so you can go back and you're going to update it so it's in keeping with your brand voice. That's where you're really starting to optimize this stuff. And then the setup here is quite simply because right before this, we got to the point where we had content manager, we had writers, we had editors, we had strategists, we had all of that. And at this point, the team setup is simply more people and more/better processes. So this is where you're investing in software to facilitate all of it. So this is how we build a content organization. This is how we build a content process within a company and even with an agency. Agencies often don't start out at no content because they get clients, they start producing content, but it's usually the person, the founder, writing, right, and editing, and then they start to outsource some of the writing, but they keep doing the editing and the strategy themselves, and then they outsource the editing, so they're still doing the strategy themselves, and then eventually they hire someone to do the strategy for the client, so that then and someone to manage the production process, so then the founder can focus on broader business strategy. And really, as I told you, where we see people really start to need Editor Ninja is at the top end here, and basically on up. So the top end of the second, so around 8-10 pieces, they're starting to think about bringing in an editor right here. And then as you scale up, as you get into this 10-20 plus pieces of content a month, that is where you're starting to need more people, more better processes, and that's where we can really come along and take time and free up your time, take work off of your plate, work that you're probably overpaying for, you're being overpaid to do at this point. So we can help you save money actually per hour, so that then you can go and focus on other important things. And of course, we're always hiring editors. We have a great stable of editors that work with us and for us, that work on our clients' content. So we can always scale up, so you don't have to go back and add in more, recruit more editors. You basically tell us, hey, we're actually looking to increase our volume by 10-15 pieces next month, and we can increase our engagement as well with you and can make sure that we have the editors on board. So if this is you, I would love to speak with you about this and how we can come alongside you, whether you're an in-house marketing team or you're a content agency. Go to editorninja.com/demo. Schedule a free editorial assessment with me. We can walk through things like this, talk about what you're currently doing, so that we can see if we're a great fit to work together. So either go to that URL or click on the button below on this page, and I will hopefully see you on the other side. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.